2, 1.
It looks like we're live, so hello everybody.
Exciting. Yay! Oh my god, I'm excited. This is Poetry Jam. Welcome everyone. Super exciting. Hopefully we can see people start to stream in. But if you are coming in right now, hello and welcome to Poetry Jam.
It looks like we're live.
You might be a bit confused because I'm not the normal host, but we decided to spice things up a bit this month with a new host. So if you guys don't mind, it's normally Tom, but I am Shumi and I also work for Beat Freaks, and I'm joined with my lovely guests. If you don't mind introducing yourselves, guys.
Yeah, sure. My name is Numpu Menelo, but you can call me Num for short. And I'm a photojournalist and I do quite a few programs with Beat Freaks, which is really cool. Yeah, that's what I do.
Hi, I'm Henry. I'm currently doing a sort of internship placement with Beat Freaks, working with them on some amazing projects. But most of the time you can find me at Birmingham City University studying applied theatre, community and education.
Amazing. We'll give it a few seconds just to let people come in, get comfortable before we get fully engrossed with the night. But I'm very, very excited. I've never hosted a poetry jam before. I haven't really hosted like that before in general, so I am very excited. I don't know about you guys. How are you guys feeling? Are you excited?
Oh, I'm very pumped up, very, very excited for this. Should be a brilliant evening. We've got some amazing poems lined up, so that should be good.
Yeah, definitely. I think the talent is strong tonight. But for those of you who are unaware, Poetry Jam has been going on since 2013, so we celebrated our 8th birthday this year. Poetry Jam has opened its doors every first Thursday of the month and has grown in love, attendance and adoration ever since. It's a monthly open mic night to perform, to jam and just to click with other communities and creatives. The night is a beautiful combination of first time and just starting out, poets to established and confident poets. All are welcome, whether you're a Poetry Jam regular or a newbie. We ask poets to send us pre-recorded videos of their performances so they can just get a chance to feature and showcase with our young hosts reacting to the performances. So that's us. Make sure to follow also Beat Freaks on all our socials. It's just at Beat Freaks. Freaks spelled with 2 E's, no A. And yes, also if you're interested in wanting to submit your poem to be featured in next month's Poetry Jam, you can just follow us at Beat Freaks and we will be sending out the information on how to get involved. So make sure to stay tuned on our socials. But otherwise, we are super, super, super excited to get involved. And I think this is going to be fantastic. Also, just so you guys know, for anyone who watches Poetry Jam regularly, we are not actually going to be featuring whilst the poem is playing this month. But we just had a small technical hitch. But we will be right back with our thoughts and feelings. And don't worry, we'll give you everything you need. We'll give you all the vibes. So it'll be just as good, I'm sure.
It's all about the vibes tonight.
Literally. We're super excited. As it's all of our first time, I think, hosting Poetry Jam. So we're just super excited to get involved. But without further ado, the night starts whenever we are ready.
I think we've got our first message in the chat. We've got someone saying,
hello, welcome to the session.
Happy May, or happy May to you.
Please, take a seat. Get comfortable. So, what would you like to start today? See, insecurities used to cloud me. I got a couple grey hair, sometimes I feel it ain't fair, but that's just a little bit about me. I was always a short guy with small eyes, but them things allowed me to learn vulnerability in the vicinities that were around me.
Alright, I understand. Is there anything else concerning you?
I'm in a place in my life where I'm trying to make space for a wife, someone I can take on a date for a night, make enough money, vacate when we like. But I've got abandonment issues that I face, that I might bottle up, keep inside to escape all the types of memories that have shaped up my life. With this statement I might seem less desirable, these aren't the traits that I like. But anytime I'm facing the mic, I make sure I leave the stage floor alight. But the truth hurts, and my spirit doesn't allow me to rest. I feel like I've lost half of my mind, and I'm trying to salvage the rest. My chest pumps, my heart races like I'm doing thousands of reps. Or if I'm out in the park, and I'm counting my steps.
When I meet someone who gives me a bit of attention, I just attach. I begin to behave like Benjamin Button reverting back to a baby, and like a baby to a breast I latch. Even if I know we are not compatible, I convince myself that our opposites attract, and in fact we are indeed a perfect match. And that's when a plan predestined to fail begins to hatch. I'm with a man that God never intended me to be with. Self-inflicted pain, shame and heartbreak, which could all have been avoided if I wasn't so desperate for love to begin with. It all begins with me. It all begins with my mind and self-esteem, which has always been low. Maybe if my father hugged me more, or at all. Maybe if he told me he loved me or I was special. Maybe my search for love in man is intentional, to fill a void of emptiness that could only be filled from a love that's parental. But I can't blame it all on daddy issues.
And what else is the issue?
My mind's a sat-nav, always searching for myself, trying to find me. It all stems from having an identity crisis, combined with when I lost sight of who Christ is. I just don't know what to believe anymore, and living with nothing to believe in is just not appealing anymore. My life is a revolving door, different people just come and go. I don't even know who is a friend and who is a foe. Can't distinguish who's an acquaintance. I OD on MOT for my heart needs regular maintenance. Adulthood. Everyone is too busy to care. And even when we're not busy, we just can't be bothered to make the effort, to be fair. I get it. The world doesn't revolve around me. But I do wish I had more genuine friends around me.
Maybe you should reach out first. Try it. They do say no man is an island.
Maybe. But really, I think it all comes back to me. Living a life not knowing who you are or accepting who you are. I mean, can you imagine? Because it leaves you with only one option of allowing other people to dictate who you are, which is tragic. That 12-year-old me became 21-year-old me. And it's only now 28-year-old me is breaking the cycle. I have to break the cycle.
Healing and progression in life is vital. So, how do you plan on breaking the cycle?
I come from a broken home, father was a rolling stone, mother was a strong black woman who could hold her own, watching many things too young, which exposed a whole poison my mind and involved my soul, talking about movies, the type that you shouldn't own, passed around my school, they were shown on the phones. But now I'm sitting here trying to heal, because I'm grown. Besides that, I find that I can't speak about my issues in my community, because when I go right back, I run away from them to get me on the right track. It's ironic, I vomit, I'll change, I promise. Don't apply logic, see an issue, I dodge it. These tissues won't stop it, so I'm here to acknowledge all of my faults and my problems.
Simple. By simply spending some seconds in my day appreciating me, loving me, forgiving me and accepting me, letting go of hurtful thoughts clouding me, and learning unhealthy lessons and setting boundaries. I have to take things day by day. As they say, life is a journey. Life is a journey.
That was amazing. I don't know how everyone else feels, but that was so incredible.
So powerful, yeah.
Oh, that was so good. And the visuals were insane. Like, it felt so well made and so strong, and it just, oh, what vibes. That's the best way to start this. I'm so obsessed. I want to be involved.
Yeah, like the symbolism. I quite like how they have the therapist and they both have like this back and forth with the therapist. Can we just give like points to the reference to the MOT? That was mad. That was a bar drop. That was a mic drop. But yeah, the symbolism and the beat. This is why I love spoken word. Like, it's an art form in itself, but it creates this rhythm with how the poets speak as well. So it's really nice.
It's flowed beautifully.
I was going to say, I love that like conversational style, that back and forth, where it's not just one voice; it's all these different voices coming together to create one amazing narrative, and I think that's what was most powerful about it.
Yeah.
So mad how a juxtaposed situation would be, like you're on the opposite side to something, so your opinion is different, but all the same. Okay, well, that was beautiful. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely ready for the next one. So, when you're ready.
So this is a poem that I caught on the cuff. One that I'm going to write as I speak along. Life calls you on its bluff, all on the cuff, and shows you when enough is enough. It will show you roads of when to be soft and when to be tough. There's not really much difference. Now in society, man-made, we breed green. Green? There's nothing wrong with a grin or a smile. It's been a long while. Now, we breed greed, we breed sin. This is not a win. Don't forget that frown. It deserves to be upside down. For you see, we fear too much, and we fear the end. For the end is the beginning, and within the beginning, we start winning. Along the line, we forgot this. We forgot humanity. We've been too focused on sinning. Whatever happened to being truthful, to being clean, or to be confused? Because people are mean, and that's celebrated, and love becomes hated, and kindness and gentleness, like a breeze in the ocean, traps us. We feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Are we floating? Are we drowning? Who knows? Life calls you on its bluff. It's all on the cuff. We fear too much. Like a roller coaster. Is it up? Is it down? What next? What next? We have to stop. And we need to remember. Remember to be here. Not to fear. And not to sin. Whatever happened to us, just being us. What happened to you? What happened to me? I just want to be free. What's wrong with being me? What's wrong with being me? Is this not my life? Do I choose not to be here? Do I not have a choice? Do I not have freedom? Do I not get to see the sun when it sets and rises? Do I not get to see the moon? Hopefully soon. I just want to be here, like you. I don't want to fear no more. I just want to be here, for enough is enough. What's wrong with love? What's wrong?
Another beautiful one. I just want to firstly say, sorry if anyone got any echo there, but we had a bit of technical difficulty, but hopefully cleared up for you guys by the end. But hopefully it didn't take away from how beautiful that poem was. And wow. I also really loved the visuals in that one. I feel like it was really personal and it made it feel really, intimate. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt so natural. Like he was just letting his whatever was going through his mind, going through his heart at that moment, was just coming out, and we could just get a glimpse of that, and that was wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. This is gonna sound random, but shout out to his stash. That was really cool. Like his stash was really cool.
I mean, I'm jealous, frankly.
But yeah, I like the imagery. Like, are you floating or drowning? That kind of has biblical symbolism into it as well. It's really fascinating how we played with words and symbolism. Big fan of symbolism. But yeah,
amazing. Yeah, I completely agree. I think we can go to the next one.
Come on,
let's go. We're on the roll.
Familiarity clings, breath forms droplets in the ether, specks of dust, skin, hair, dirt, grimy flakes of human indulgence encapsulated in a bubble. Beyond control, too powerful, chaotic, and a worried mind may choose to compartmentalize these wild elements, whether inconsequential but meaningful when it suits us, or justification for our petty self-obsessions. Our world is small and full of mindless indignations, injustice an imposing theme. No wonder when the rain pours, it pours on us and drenches us in life that we refuse to know. It reminds us of our lack of agency, and if we lay the blame on rain, it absolves us of responsibility, just as our pores absorb the nutrients we need, the minerals our skin sucks in and rehydrates us with its drips, this nectar of our earth, sustaining life, facilitating human strife, and powering our self-destructive minds, becoming what is now called humankind. What kind of kind is this? We're all half blind, and yet we see enough to point and shame. We take what we can get, and still we blame whomever or whatever plays the game. You're not exempt.
Wow. A line that just stood out to me in that, well, I think one thing that I loved was her use of water. I don't know why, it was really vivid to me. It felt like a whole washing and being drenched. And also, she said, I'm probably going to paraphrase this wrong, so please bear with me. But she said something about humankind and what kind of kind is this? And I was like, that's pretty deep. That was pretty deep, and I was, the wording in that was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Very much so. It was very expressive as well. She had a performative element to it, the way that she was stroking her face and the way that she was playing with eye contact as well. I will say when she dropped the bar, I'm just going to read it out. We are all half blind, yet we take to point or shame. I was like, okay.
Also, I love the fact she's sort of playing with what you can achieve when it's spoken word rather than just written poetry. because it doesn't have to be all big and loud and full of all that energy. You can bring it like down and bring it more intimate in its way, and I think that is something that works so well there.
100%. I agree with that. Yeah, she was really soft, but what she was saying was quite like punchy and invigorating in that sense. So I definitely love that one. You are ready for the next one.
I once saw a sunrise, rising upon a dream. The nightmare was seemingly over, the slate had been wiped clean. Unseen in the hidden scratches and hidden in between, memories gouged into the surface were a reminder of what once had been. A reminder that all was not exactly what it seemed. Life's fine essence was ground to powder, turned to paste. Once more, as course is driven, a course life is given, provided and required as prerequisite for living in this bold and cold golden cage. Strange bedfellows, freedom and safety, wage violent war to death over the carcasses of all those still to live to draw breath. Barely enough skin and bones to cover what was left. I saw the sunrise of hope, this end of the night, only to illuminate the true horrors of what is yet to come. And so the sun set, as ever it does, once more on this veiled vision of what is but one of many, one of any that could be. Yet it is the only one we see, even if we choose to do that. For in fact, and stumbling explosions of air and breath, we articulate what no other in evidence can equally do. We can see further into and beyond, immersing ourselves in the endless flowings of infinity. What we bring back is sacred and sacrilegious, not of this world, made up and invented, and yet no less real than the inability to feel, taste, smell, sense, or hear. Hence the heart palpitations of fear, nervousness, and trepidation, held back by chimpanzee-coated fingernails, terrified of what lies ahead, what must be left behind. And this is where we stand, on the edge of meaning and madness, captured captives captivated by our mindsets and inventions, the final pause before the final breath, braving the unknown, seeking out the paths to lead us to that place that hope hinted at existing.
Honestly, wow. Like, I'm trying to get words out here, and it's just like, it's all stuck here,
Absolutely. And he said, I feel like I can't even speak as eloquently as that. Like, making it make sense. He said, I think he said like captured captives, and I was like, huh? How? I was like, how are you making this work? This is insane. What a flow, like an absolute wordsmith. Like a little mini story.
Exactly.
Takes you on a complete journey, and I think it's really incredible what people can do with words. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but it's absolutely incredible what people can do with words.
Literally. It's like, oh, go ahead, Henry.
I was just going to say, there's a lot of love coming for that one from the chat, and I absolutely agree with that. It is absolutely brilliant piece.
So amazing. Well, I think I'm just about ready for the next one.
This poem is called What I Call a Friend. I asked Google what a friend was, and she said, a person with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically one exclusive of sexual or family relations. What if there's more to it? What if there's more than that? For the simple fact that a friend is deeper than that mutual affection, a reflection of yourself, the mirror that shows the best in you, sees to all your flaws, opens windows, opens doors for the better, never makes you feel alone or out of place. You can embrace every part of you. There's no need to pretend. That's why I call it a friend. But can you call it a friendship when that ship is starting to sink? When you're the only person trying to fill in the very holes that they dug out? When you're constantly watering the roots to a dying spout? When they reverse your call for help for something of their own? And the only love shown is when they're in need. They detangle the weeds and they water the seeds so they can proceed to take what they need. But what about me? What about us, the ones who provide the fruits that they seek? They leave us black, blue and weak, but we continue to feed you. Can you still call it a friendship when the only love they give is the very love that breaks you, takes you to a whole new level of obligation that you feel obligated to do even though it kills you? Every part of you is trying to pretend. Can you still call that a friend? But what if they make you feel good? As a friend should. They take your cuds for cans, recycle your cans for wheels, swaps your plastic cups of doubt for endless positive refills, and it thrills you to know you have them. But then company changes, as do they. No longer that environment friendly, but the toxic waste that kills it, and you can feel it. So you start to deep that friendship is starting to die. All that personality and all that caring must have been a lie, but why? The second your surroundings change, it's kill or be killed, survive or die. It doesn't matter what you have to leave behind. They just treat like a dying trend. Can that still be classed as a friend? What if they try to make amends? They apologize, and they mean it this time. But what can you do with an empty word, an empty promise, a flightless bird, a heedless herd, a bouquet of dead daisies? And I find it fake and fugazi that I'm the enemy when I tell you how I feel. Well, let me tell you how I feel. Where's my share of the good deeds and the care and the matching personalities? I'm getting off my hands and knees and I'm dashing responsibilities that they need, because what about me? And I realize you can't bury a seed, because it will grow to be bigger than both you and me and them, and every flower needs a stem. So I asked Google what our friend was, and she said, a person with whom one has a mutual affection, typically one exclusive of sexual or family relations. What is more to it? What if they're more than that? For the simple fact that a friend could be one who sets sail to your sinking ships, fills in every hole that others have dug out, hears your scream for help when you haven't even opened your mouth yet. The mirror that sees the best in you, sees through all your flaws, opens windows, opens doors for the better, never makes you feel alone or out of place. You can embrace every part of you. There's no need to pretend. That's what I call a friend.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you know what's so funny about that? I feel like the majority of people can relate to that transition of a relationship or a friendship, for instance, when something starts so like beautiful and genuine, and it just can turn into something completely different and shape you in a different way. I thought that was absolutely magnificent, and she had like a way of referencing and using metaphors that were really vivid in my brain and made sense to that particular scenario. I don't know if I'm right.
No, you're right. You're right, definitely.
I think what really sold that was that it's a subject that's really, really personal, but that we can all absolutely relate to. Like, we all completely understood what was coming out there, and I think that was the most important bit.
Definitely. It's like a commentary between selflessness and love, because you need a balance in order to have a healthy relationship. And I quite liked how she took us on that journey. Shout out to the shipwreck imagery, that was mad. But yeah, nice.
And I think there's something in being in those types of friendships when she said, and I'm the enemy when I tell you how I feel. And I think that is so like, I was like, yo. Literally, everyone's been there when they kind of feel like they need to say something but don't really know how to say it. And then once they put how they feel out there, it's like someone manages to flip it or switch it, and you're like, whoa, how did this happen? But yeah, no, incredible. Oh my gosh, these are amazing. I'm like in shock. I'm gonna run out of words by the end of this. I'm just gonna be like in the back. But I don't know about you guys, but I am ready for the next one.
You're the perfect cup of cocoa on a frozen winter's day. You're the perfect ray of summer sun to chase my blues away. You're the perfect wine at supper time, you paired with every meal. You're the perfect cards in a game of chance, whatever hand fate deals. You're the perfect cosy sofa on a lazy afternoon. And on a frightful night, you're the starry sky and the light of a perfect moon. You're the perfect patch of silk and sand on a lonely, stony beach. And in a world of bitter coffee, you're the perfect cup of tea. You're the perfect warming weather for a picnic in the park. And on the path of life's adventures, you're the perfect place to start. You're a singer's gift for perfect pitch, a lyrically perfect rhyme. And if love were like a poem, you'd be the perfect final line.
My chest. That was so beautiful and so adorable and so sweet. Like,
I want that to be about me. I don't know how everyone else feels. But he said, in a world of bitter coffee, you're the perfect cup of tea. And I want to be... I think that is beautiful. And I think whoever you wrote that about, you've won. So sweet, so warm.
And what I love about that is that most of the time when you get love poetry, it's really big, huge metaphors like stars and sun or whatever, and they just get to really down to earth, really relatable metaphors, and I think that is just wonderful. That it's something we can all relate to, we all understand, and it's not something that you have to go reaching for. It's just something really ordinary that is still amazing.
Completely, that is literally it. I think it was just a compilation of simple, satisfying things that everyone is makes their world a bit nicer sometimes in the day where you're feeling a bit. Literally, I thought that was magic. Completely. It was just short and sweet, to give it just beautiful metaphors. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's honestly, I love that. I want that as a ringtone. Anyway, shall we go to the next one?
To care. Good morning, Mr. Smith. It's time to take your medicine. I lean in a little bit and say the same thing again. I'm not sure if he hears me. I'm not sure if he's there. It seems to me his mind is now far beyond repair. I take some time to wipe his brow and comb back his hair. His great green eyes have seen such sights, but now all they do is stare. I wonder if he's there. Can this be the end of life? It really isn't fair. He used to be a prison guard, now his prison is his chair. So easy just to disregard and to look elsewhere. Dreaming often of the past, but pleased to have you there. Feeling softer in your heart, that's how it feels to care. But nothing could prepare for the sight of a lady who's lost to her hair, vision impaired, visibly scared. A decision on if she'll keep living is there, and she can't even share what's going on with her. The covers are on, but still she does shiver. Or the old man who now has a cancerous liver, and he's just turned 82. A family tree ripped at the roots, a hereditary disease. Accepting the truth is what he must do. It's easy to say, but to do, well, what if it was you? It's hard to consider, isn't it? That's the end of your dinner, Mr. Smith. He's looking much thinner, this could be it. Unbutton his bib, he mutters a bit, a cough and a splutter, a dribble of spit. I tell him a fib. I cannot help it. I say, Mr. Smith, you're looking a better today. Just mind how you sit. Have you been drinking? Plenty of fluids. Why do I do it? No reply every time, but still I pursue it. I play his favourite music. On his table I place a paper and pen, although he cannot use it. I wait till the end of the song. My shift is now done. I call, goodbye, Mr. Smith. My head is so full of why we exist, it excites till it hits. I cry, just a bit. Is this defined as doing my bit? A gift in kind for the time that I sit, or could I do more? I smile again as I close the door. Oh, my boy, if only you knew the comfort, the joy you bring every single time you come in. I try with my eyes to smile or grin, but to be paralyzed is a terrible thing, and I'm frightened of it. I cry just a bit. But every day how I wait for your visit. You're always on time as you open the blinds, you focus my mind, and oh how you smile. You make me feel alive. It's true there may not be much more time, but I do not mind. Inside my mind you will find a brain that still works and quite a nice guy. I used to be shy. Now there's a pain in my side, a bent out of shape spine. I've lost sight in one eye, but I am not blind, for I can still see all that you do for me. I'm incredibly happy. Although it may not seem, I still have hopes and dreams, and you must know that coming here and providing me with such dignity, although I've lost mobility, I am fulfilling these, because simply just existing can be enough to please. But briefly seeing you, it sets my mind at ease, allows me to accept the truth, and reminds me that I have lived a lengthy life and death will set me free. But please don't get me wrong, I'm in no rush to go. I'm just verbally, internally wording pleas that you will never know. I'm simply trying to tell you to continue. You're a star, and I know you're lying. We both know that you are. But when you say I'm looking good, it deeply hits my heart. You remember I like guitar. You play that album from the start, playing all the parts, no matter if it's past the time that you must depart. But my favourite part is when I see you put down that paper and pen. It is then I feel human again. If you didn't, I wouldn't, and that is the truth. So I thank you, my friend, for all that you do, because by you being you, you allow me to be me. Time's getting on, it's 5:33 outside flat number 1 with a turn of the key. My next shift has begun. I hear, "You're early." I look up and I see Mr. Jones in his robes. He's 83. With an outreached arm we greet, he seems calm, the heat of his palm, the beat of his heart repeatedly fast. The feelings he's feeling are easily masked, but I see the scars. Recently life has been frequently hard, secretly hiding in those walks to the park. At home a wife who is dying as he falls apart. His hand leaves mine. It's getting dark. He says, "She's asleep in the next room. Let's make a start." He opens the door and inside he goes, steps on the floor, treads on the clothes, on dresses she wore to hundreds of shows, on socks that are worn and dusty tuxedos. And there in her bed, tucked in, covered nose, peacefully sleeping is Mrs. Jones. But she isn't well, she's weak in the bones. Since that week on her own in that bleak nursing home, she weeps and she groans. A once proud lady, a mother of 2, it's so sad and so crazy, but what can you do? She lays there in pain, unable to move. My gaze turns away, frustratingly moved. In a frame on the table, her age 2. From cradle to grave, there in plain view, patiently fading, she won't improve. Mr. Jones stands there waiting, he shuffles his shoes as his eyes are fixated on the lover he once knew. It's now completely dark outside. We wash her all over, then we start to dry. I see Mr. Jones, and there creeps from his eye, on his cheeks there secretes little peaks at his life. He's so unbelievably defeated by this question of why. Promised a life of dreams and a wife to be by his side. But perceive as you might, he seizes my sight and begins to smile. Young man, we are all going to die, and these tears, though they fall, I do not cry. 60 years overall, with her by my side, as a rose does grow tall, it must wither and dry, reminding us all that life is a cycle. But don't become all riddled with strife, bitter and blind, you'll forget you're alive. Some call it cruel, some call it life.
Guys, what? The talent! I cannot. That was such a journey, I think. Like, he was really, really. That was really emotional, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he painted a really vivid image of. I don't know. I was particularly struck by the last. Well, I say the last story, but like the last segment of that, when he was talking about. Well, I hope I'm correct in saying that he was talking about the old lady who once was the strong woman, a mother of two, and this sort of different picture that she is now living, this different type of life that she is now in, and it's something that's sort of like inevitable for all people to sort of like get old. And yeah, it was such a human story.
Definitely. And he is got swagger to him. Like, lyrically, he's got a bounce to his flow. I don't know if you heard it, like when he first started like speaking and performing, you can hear that lyrical bounce. And also, he showed the beauty and kind of like the magic when people care for you, like being a carer. It's an interesting way of looking at representation, actually. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to add something clever, but it's literally just taken it out of me, that one. It's so emotional.
Yeah. I think that was gorgeous. Like, I think it kind of goes without saying why it was lovely.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think the camera was on at the time. I was just like having a little tear away because it actually really got me.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. I think it was because it was very clear and easy to follow as well. So it wasn't so fancy that you were like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, it was like you were there, all the way through. And then like, yeah, and I think even in the way he almost performed, like he like stood up for certain bits, sat down, and stood back up, it kind of like gave the whole thing levels. Yeah, I thought, yeah, that was proper like, yeah, for sure. Okay, right, beautiful. Let's go to the next.
A deep exhale, a needed sigh. A somber cloud invades the sky. The once blue sky is quickly stained, a flood of clouds from a clouded brain. Each tear that's shed, the raindrops begin. Each lightning bolt thunders within. The weakened sun, both engulfed and dimmed, trees forced to waver, coerced by the wind. Roots torn up, leaving the ground behind, the merciless storm chaotic in their mind. Crashes, clashes, dirt, debris and leaves, swirling, hurling, until again they breathe. A sudden sunbeam soars anew, caressing the sky, their affection shines through. An arc appears, a luminous spectrum, always potential, but so often kept from actualization and shining true. But that sunshine, power, beauty, always resides in you.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Vivid. Again, like the imagery, I don't know, yeah. I don't have enough words for these.
We're running out. We're running out of what to say because y'all are so gifted and so talented. Like, it's amazing. It's an honor to listen to your poetry.
Completely. I think whenever anyone touches on like nature and things like that as well, it feels really like I can just see what they're portraying and what they're saying. I think she did that really, really well. As well as having sort of like background to what she was going on. Like do you know what I mean? Like it was more in depth. And it was short and sweet as well. Like she didn't feel the need to go on too long. It was very beautiful and like concise and like I loved it.
Yeah. And I think there is a certain skill in getting all that sort of all those ideas, all that emotion into just like less words, less time, because it's all that concentrated stuff there, and I think that came across really well. Oh, I do apologise. I've been.
This is the joys of lockdown.
Zoom moments.
And with that, we shall go to the next one.
I don't know how this is going to sound. This is my first take. Might be good. Might have to do more takes. Who knows? Alright. Distant clockwork carving me in the dark. I constantly relive false odyssey, toxic nostalgia, my grain of memories to throw me off balance. A ballad of pareidolia, an ocean of faces. I'm lost in the solemn graces of condemnation and contemplation. Understatement, I'm bedbound or I'm on the pavement. It's underrated, this sitting silent to process pain with the heavy weight of our copper chains and nickel braces. If I ain't got the metal, then I ain't got the stomach. I ain't got time to worry, I ain't got time to plummet. Cause chasing paper's priority, though the pain's abundant. So swallowed sorrow's a cheap sour to chase the run with. I drink sorrow and Maggie's, Yardie Babby, Old Jane, some Ray and Neff, Bacardi gladly. I'm hardy Aggie when wavy baby, I'm party Sammy. But party Sammy's afraid to face the darkness. There's plenty of dark and solitary. Got a mean streak, chronology was not a dream peak. It's clockwork, stitches of seconds woven in time, velocity, threading the needle under the light at night to run to the knife or over the limit. Sometimes being this delicate feels like a gimmick of mine. Resurface memories of anger suppressed and phlegmatic, but the phlegm still weighs on my chest. Avoidant personality, even in therapy. I hide behind my nicety, cause kindness is heavy. A small talk about my website and doing my tax relaxed session. I felt guilty for not bleeding with passion. Am I disingenuous for not leading with trauma, or is the need to confess part of being disordered? It's all a blur, it's all me. I weep with discomfort, I feel uncomfortable. I feel I'm looking for something. Less than nothing fits a singular box. I tore my borders apart.
Still I'm in shock, I am the calm and the storm, sun and the moon, I am a landscape evolving, ever in bloom, ooh, next to nothing is an innocent flex, I tore down the old throne, shit's complex, I saw the pain in the pedestal, the myth it reflects, I can't let the world in if I'm holding my breath, now in the distance, small silhouette of a stranger moves into frame for a glimpse, glitch in the image of self is consistent, trust this flux is an honest depiction. Silence my default destructive behavior. I run from conflict, attention, danger. Deprive myself of communication. But this dry numbness ain't the same as safety. Only you draw the boundaries you live with. And if they are crossed, then you don't owe forgiveness to anyone except for yourself, the core of a dark light, chaotic shell, self-aware or self-conscious, self-care or self-construct, self-deprecate but is self-responsible. If pessimist prophecy is self-fulfilling, it's chilling to know thyself, to know how to listen to the clockwork well, to embrace taking up space and being held, to walk that crossroad back from hell. Next to nothing fits a singular box, I tore my borders apart. Still I'm in shock, I am the calm and the storm, sun and the moon, I am a landscape evolving, ever in bloom, ooh. Next to nothing is an innocent flex, I tore down the old throne, shit's complex, I saw the pain in the pedestal, the myth it reflects, I can't let the world in if I'm holding my breath, now in the distance, small silhouette of a stranger moves into frame for a glimpse, glitch in the image of self is consistent, so I trust this flux is reality. Okay.
I would have listened to this person on Spotify, like for the rest of my life. Literally. Oh my gosh, I think Samia, I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, incredible. Papa gave me like Kendrick Lamar vibes. Like, to get like, I don't know if anyone gets my vibe, but yo, I think he said sometimes I wrote it down because I was like, I will remember this line. Sometimes being this delicate feels like a gimmick of mine, and I was like, have you been in my brain? You know what I mean? It was definitely one of those, like, someone also wrote, I saw in the comments, oh my god, so much ambivalence, so many contradictions. And I was like, yes, I love that. And it was like the calm and the storm. And as humans, we have like so many layers to us. And it's not as simple as being one thing or another. You're complex and interesting and wonderful in loads of different ways, which some people will appreciate and some people won't. But I thought that was incredible. And I would like to download that song. That poem.
Yeah. And the art direction, can we just like give props to him? Like the pink matched his hair and it matched this whole thing that he was doing. And also that was his first take. He said that was his first take. Like what? Amazing. And I wrote one down as well. I can't let the world in if I'm holding my breath. How can I let the world in if I'm holding my breath? Like what? Like what? And I don't know, I'm so shook.
There's like, do you know what that feels? Not to even like bring it down. Like that is an Instagram cap right there. Like that is something that someone will be stealing here and be using, and they give him credit for it because whoa.
Hard, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just yes. Right. Shall we? We shall.
Thanks for
Samia, that was amazing. Thank you. And we will go to the next one.
Traditions are ours. Culture. British, Asian, Indian. Traditions are ours. A full English breakfast with Punjabi pickled baked beans. Traditions are ours. A mirror-embroidered lehenga over socks and knee-high boots. Traditions are ours. You see, the music hits Latino, but our steps bang banga. The garage plays beats that we know, yet we party in Malaga. It's the passion of the Argentine tango, followed by a dash of that garlic chutney salsa. It's our shoulders, the first things to move. As the beat quickly takes over our arms, before you know it, we're screwing light bulbs and reaching for the stars, and singing several bars. After that, we'll be moonwalking or shuffling from one place to another. We even have our broken umbrellas as we go from dancing in the rain, singing a cappella, to running through a field of flowers with our stoles flying in the wind, because those traditions are ours.
I love that. That was just a nice little taste of culture as well, I think. Manisha smashed it.
Another one where it's not overstated. It's, she said what she wanted to say, and that was, all really contained. And I think that was really nice.
Definitely. And art direction again. The clothes, the backdrop, the colour on the border. Come on, guys, you're coming through with the visuals. You really are. Really nice.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. In spoken word poetry, people have been, playing with the medium of the visual medium as well, and that actually added another layer to it, which I absolutely loved.
Completely. Someone's actually just put in the chat, I love that the music was Indian, but with a reggae tempo, and yes, there was references to something that was probably slightly outside of culture, but still relating it back to their traditions, their culture, and I love that. I thought that was magic. Very well done. Okay. We shall go to the next one.
Very good.
If Alan Carr went a little too far on interior design masters, would he be heckled to the rafters? Would you be hearing all this gamma with Holmes under the hammer when slightly over budget? All I did was try to fudge it when the costs began to rise, so these reports of my demise are surely overstated. You see, the decor was quite dated, and honestly, truth be told, though never knowingly undersold, John Lewis furnishings do leave me somewhat cold. So I decided to be bold, which is the opposite of brittle, and bring into the fold the talented Lulu Little. Less chatty rats, more natty rattan. And now they're saying the writing's on the wall. Well, it better not be. That paper was 800 a roll and the paint was Farrow and Ball. They gave me 30 grand, that's all. 30 grand from the public purse. My fiancé's response was understandably terse. The flat was glum, humdrum, painted in old-fashioned colours like purple and plum. So I had cash and I had carry, but I somehow couldn't marry her number 11 interior vision with the arcane rules of the Electoral Commission. So I hatched a cunning and quite brilliant plan, which only a man like I am can. I needed a millionaire business owner who was also Conservative Party donor. I kept it on the down low and went for old Lord Brownlow. The flat would soon be looking positively regal, but then Dom called it unethical, foolish, possibly illegal. And as we've seen once or twice in the past before, Dom is a chap who knows his law. So suddenly, for what started as simply a bit of a wheeze, I've been branded Major Sleaze by that lover of flat plaque, Keir Starmer. I've rarely seen him calmer in PMQs. Did you see the ease with which he was able to make me seem somewhat unstable and take my argument apart like some prefab Swedish table? I think next time I will involve the cabinet. The Secretary of Health could put up a shelf, perhaps Shaps could do the transport like the plumbing and the taps, Patel on the painting, Raab on rugs, and Gove could do the carpets if we keep him off the drugs. Dowden could do drapery, Truss would do the trim, I'd have Williamson on lighting, but it might end up rather dim. No, it simply wouldn't work. I cannot shirk my responsibility. For once, I'm not going to lie. The next time I see a catalogue with prices sky high, I shall simply tousle my hair and say with a sigh, Darling, maybe this time we could just do DIY.
I'm obsessed with this guy. Like,
honestly,
I want to be his mate. I don't know. Do you get what I mean? He is so hilarious. I think he was incredibly intelligent to be able to tie humor into something so eloquently. References that everyone can understand and identify with, but I still feel personal to you. Like, you're the only person that knows, about having the writing on your wall and being too expensive, all the stuff. But IKEA furniture that everyone struggles with, and I think he is fantastic. What a whistle.
But on the other hand, you almost have to feel sorry for him, because the hours of Boris Johnson speeches he must have been through to get the speech patterns right all the way through that. Because it did feel like something he'd say all along. It was brilliant.
Literally, honestly, you can't keep a straight face when you listen to that one, because it's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny. You can hear the voice, the politician voice, and then also when he's like speaking and he's performing, he's got this news anchor vibe, and so it kills me. He did a great job.
Yeah. I don't know how he kept a straight face through that. Honestly,
he must have done that take 1,000 times, because there's no way. Honestly, he had the narrators, it felt like a short, comedic story, but he was saying it so straight faced that you're like, how are you doing this? What a magician!
Honestly,
legend. I hope it gets into comedy, because that was fabulous. Honestly, that was amazing.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I love that. We need more of that, but I think Mark Simpson absolutely smashed it. And without further ado, we go to our next one.
If Alan Carr went a little too far on interior design masters, would he be heckled to the rafters? Would you be hearing all this yammering with homes under the hammer when slightly over budget? All I did was try to fudge it when the cost began to rise, so these reports of my demise are surely overstated. You see, the death roll was quite dated, and honestly, truth be told, though never knowingly undersold, John Lewis furnishings do leave me somewhat cold. So I decided to be bold, which is the opposite of brittle, and bring into the fold the talented Lulu Little. Less chatty rats, more natty rattan. And now they're saying the writing's on the wall. Well, it better not be. That paper was 800 a roll and the paint was Farrow and Ball. They gave me 30 grand, that's all. 30 grand from the public purse. My fiance's response was understandably terse. The flat was glum, humdrum, painted in old-fashioned colours like purple and plum. So I had cash and I had carry, but I somehow couldn't marry her number 11 interior vision with the arcane rules of the Electoral Commission. So I hatched a cunning and quite brilliant plan, which only a man like I am can. I needed a millionaire business owner who was also Conservative Party donor. I kept it on the down low and went for old Lord Brownlow. The flat would soon be looking positively regal, but then Dom called it unethical, foolish, possibly illegal. And as we've seen once or twice in the past before, Dom is a chap who knows his law. So suddenly, for what started as simply a bit of a wheeze, I've been branded Major Sleaze by that lover of flat plaque, IKEA Starmer. I've rarely seen him calmer in PMQs. Did you see the ease with which he was able to make me seem somewhat unstable and take my argument apart like some prefab Swedish table? I think next time I will involve the cabinet. The Secretary of Health could put up a shelf, perhaps Shaps could do the transport like the plumbing and the taps, Patel on the painting, Raab on rugs, and Gove could do the carpets if we keep him off the drugs. Dowden could do drapery, Truss would do the trim, I'd have Williamson on lighting. but it might end up rather dim. No, it simply wouldn't work. I cannot shirk my responsibility. For once, I'm not going to lie. The next time I see a catalogue with prices sky high, I shall simply tousle my hair and say with a sigh, "Darling, maybe this time we could just do DIY."
Sorry, guys, that's my mom. She's an avid supporter. I do apologise.
Second time lucky. That's what I'm thinking. Sorry about that, guys. I know we played that twice, but we loved it so much that we thought we'd give it to you. And also, if any technical difficulties arise throughout, thank you so much for bearing with us. It is our first time hosting and things as well, so just bear with us, COVID.
It is also our technical person's first time doing all the technical side of things.
Usually everyone is in a first, but I don't think it took away at all from the amazing talent that we have seen tonight. If you didn't check out the comments, we will be posting tomorrow, I believe, everyone's handles. So if you thought anyone was particularly, is that a word? Particularly amazing, we will be posting them on our socials at Beat Freaks. So make sure you're following us. It's just at BEATFREEKS. And that is us on all socials. So please, please, please make sure to follow us and find all the amazing talent again that we saw tonight. We have absolutely adored hosting Poetry Jam, and I feel like we've had an amazing bunch of people to talk about this first time around. I'm so obsessed, and I feel very privileged. And it's been amazing talking with my lovely guests, Henry and Nom. So amazing. Thanks to you guys. Any closing thoughts?
Well, I mean, I'd just like to say, how amazing everyone's been tonight. I mean, thank you so much to all of you for submitting your poems. I mean, it's been absolutely wonderful to have the opportunity to see all of those.
Completely.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's such a big thing, to share your work and to share poetry because it's a part of you. So again, thank you so much, and keep writing. Some of you guys are dope. No, all of you are really great. Keep writing, keep sharing.
I can't wait to see what everyone gets up to next. But without further ado, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Poetry Jam with Beat Freaks, and we look forward to seeing you on the first Thursday of next month.